Okay, so good day for you. This is my record for you to have a review about what we are going to discuss on Module 3. So, in our lesson 3, this talks about the Module 3, which is entitled is Human Person as an Embodied Spirit. So, these are all the objectives and the output targets, learning targets. So let's start with the introduction regarding with the somewhat sensitivity check. Let us try to hear the word, the song "Who Am I." I guess you know already about the song. So if you don't know the song, you just hear it by Casting Crow. Here in the YouTube, see it in the YouTube or in any music sites, and then try to read or try to follow the music, and then try to answer the certain questions. In your own opinion, why is it that it is entitled "Who Am I?" And then what word or phrase in the song that struck you most? Why? Why do you feel after listening to the song? These are the questions that you are going to answer regarding with the music. So let's start with a proper analogy. Analogy on regarding with the body and soul. Let us try to have an analogy regarding with the egg. No? This is the egg. Do not focus on the product, but it's the egg here. So it's an Easter egg. No, egg. So there are questions on that egg. What are the two components of the egg? Well, the two components of the egg is the first one is the outer layer of the egg, which is the shell. And then the inner part is the egg yolk or the egg white and the egg white. So there are two components of the egg. So if this egg has parts or components, how about the human beings? Well, like the egg, the human beings has two components also, the body and the soul. So according to Thomas Merton in the Transcendence in the Global Age, there is no other way for us to find who we are than finding in ourselves the divine image. What is His divine image? Is referring to what was the design, purpose, and the mission of God made in our lives. It is an original purpose that God intended for man and the woman. It is the divine image. We are designed, we are given a certain purpose and a mission, objectives for us to live in what is God made us. So, but in this philosophical view, there is a so-called divine image in us. Divine image in us, which is we become like God. Being God is to be good, to be something beyond what is expected in us. So, what is the so-called transcendental? It is coming from the word transcendence or convey from the climbing or going beyond. Going beyond to what is in our lives. Going beyond to what we have. This is what transcendence means. In divine image, we are transcending towards godlike. Since God is beyond what we imagine, and we become like God. And as God has created us, we have this somewhat way, a godlike, and we are capable of transcending or going beyond. So regarding with the so-called godlike, becoming or going beyond to us, to ourselves, we will focus to philosophical views, three philosophical views, which the body and the mind, or the body and soul, is focused. For the body is our material world, as our material thing, and the soul is beyond material, cannot be comprehended, or something that is uh, immortal for the philosophers. Let's start with Hinduism. Hinduism is from the concept of their god Brahman, and Brahman is somewhat way the god who is an energy and the ultimate soul, and then the ultimate soul that compress all of the universe. This God is beyond comprehension. This God is a reality of all souls. And that is why it is somewhat the Brahman can only be heard in the sound of the universe. This is named as the Om. Okay, the Om. And this is the symbol of the Om, or for the Hindus, Om. May siya ang simbolo sa Om for the Hindus. This is the voice of the Brahman. This is the voice of the universe. All exists towards the idea of the ultimate God. So how can this God became part of the philosophical view of the body and soul? Since God, or the Brahman, or the ultimate soul, is the source of all, we are also connected. The body and the soul are connected to the Brahman. This most especially is the essence of the Brahman, and this is his soul. God, ultimate Brahman, is united, must be united to the idea of the soul of the living things, especially human beings. Therefore, soul becomes important to the Hindus because one of the spiritual and immortal essence is the soul. And other is the empirical life, which is the world. Empirical is the body. Between the two natures, however, it is maintained that it is the soul that is ultimately real. So the reality of the body is not important. The reality, the ultimate reality of all is the soul. What is ato kalag, ato spirit. The existence of the body, in fact, is considered as nothing more than an illusion or the obstacles of the individual realization of oneself. In the world religion for Hindus, that is why the body, for it is a dream of the Vishnu, the god Vishnu. To tell you honestly, they have millions of gods and goddesses for to recognize one God, which is the Brahman. And for them, like the body, the body or the empirical world that we have experienced here is just an illusion. What you are looking to me is an illusion. But what is real is the soul. The soul is true reality, while the body is only temporary and ultimately an illusion that should be discarded so that the soul can be freed to return to the Brahman. There is a unity of the soul to the Brahman. Okay? There is the unity of the soul to the Brahman. Hindus generally believe that the soul is eternal but bound by the law of karma. This talks about the action, karma. Sometimes we miscalculate or misconceptualize the name karma. Sometimes we only intended the word karma for negative sense. Say karma agaba, no? Something that is gaba, karma na sa'yo. Actually, the idea of karma is not only about the action of the negative sense, or the action of the negative reaction from that certain bad actions, but there is also a positive reaction. It is still a karma. It is good karma. So whatever, for the Hindus, whatever a person do something for his body towards his soul is a karma. It could lead to a certain consequence or a reward. That is a karma or a result, which is can which it can escape only from the spiritual progress through the endless series of birth. This is what they call endless series of birth, or the samsara, the endless escape series of birth. So that this action is connected to the certain uh, person, whatever his action to be good as a good karma, it would escape him from the spiritual progress. It would escape him from the endless series of birth. What is this series of birth? This is called samsara. Anyway, we will later talk about samsara. If a person commits good, he gets good karma. Again, this karma will get him rewards. But if he commits wrong to himself or to others, he gets bad karma, and this will lead to punishment and bad result. This is what we call samsara. No? The samsara. Samsara is the endless cycle of the certain person. What is this samsara comes out? Is that there is again the transmigration of the soul from a body to another body. This is another term for reincarnation. We love talking about reincarnation. Sometimes we adapt it into any movie, we adapt it into any stories of the movie or any teleserye like uh, the Legend of the Blue Sea, etc. We love talking about reincarnation. But what is really reincarnation? This is called transmigration. A person's soul will go to the other body. And again, the transmigration for the Hindus is that if the soul is doing good, if the body and soul is doing good, which is the good karma, the transmigration means the soul will go to the other body for something that is a purification of the soul. Medyo, example, kung may ako tao, I'm not perfect as a person. So I have to do good, but there are some imperfections still in doing good. So light light imperfections. So if na mga light imperfections na ako, medyo gagmay lang, ginagmay na, pero maayo ra ka nga tao. Mobalhin ko sa lain na lawas or lain na body, which is here are intended for some bodies, which is you are not anymore in the body of a human, but in the body of an animals. No? If you are in the body of ng panato, good karma, you will be going to the body of the a dog, a cat, a frog, like this, no? Like this one. If you're doing good here, in the left side, if you're doing good here in the left side, so you will be addressing, no, if you're doing here good from the right side, upper right, you will be going to the to the good side, which is in the lower left. Okay, see this? If you're doing bad side, distraction, doing good, doing bad karmas, you will be in the karma or in the body of some animals doing to the lower right. So this is the samsara. mabalhin kao sa lain na lawas para naigitawag na purification. Transmigration of soul means a person's soul moves from the animals to human or human to animals after dying and getting born again. This is depending on the person's good or bad karma. So, in order for us to have a so-called freedom in this samsara, sa diya sa to karma, we will be having this purification to the karma, to our karma. So the the soul are destined or certain to go back to be united with the Brahman. And this is all about their liberation. This is called as ultimate liberation. And from the idea of the Hindus, they name this as the moksha. Okay? So moksha thus is the enlightened state wherein one attains one's true selfhood and finds oneself with the one, which is the Brahman, the ultimate reality. So that is moksha or liberation, the freedom from rebirth. So this is what the concept of the explanation towards the idea of the Brahman. So, in what kind of the ideas of this philosophy or the Hindus? True knowledge or vidya consists the understanding and realizations of the individual's real self, the Atman, as opposed to lower knowledge that is limited to an interpretation of reality based solely on the data offered by sense experience. Lower knowledge is an illusion and cause of wrongdoings in life. So this is what the idea of from the Hindus, that if you have a lower knowledge, it is an illusion and cause of wrongdoings in life. So Atman or consciousness must have a greater knowledge or true knowledge so that he can be somewhat conscious to what he is doing, too much consciousness. And this is called as the idea of the Atman or the soul. The soul must be conscious all the time since he is immortal. Hinduism is oneness of reality. This is found in Bhagavad Gita. This is from their writings. This oneness is the absolute or Brahman which the mind can never fully grasp and expressed in words. Only Brahman is real. Everything else is an illusionary manifestation. Illusory manifestation. So we are all just an illusion from the Brahman. What we are, what you are now in your body is just an illusion. What is real is your mind, is your soul, is your spirit. That is real. Dharma, as in a sense, translated as duty, obligation, law, virtue, and ethics. It originates the Vedic concept of the analogous to the law of nature. That is why, for the Hindus, their practice of Dharma is all about the practice of the mind and the consciousness. Obligation, duty, law, virtue, and ethics. This is leading towards the action of the soul, feeding the consciousness, feeding our mind towards the unity from the Brahman for the soul, only for the soul. What you are doing is for the soul. Kung ikaw yag nagbinuang sa imong lawas, buwak ni imong lawas, tanawan na imong hunahuna, di ba gubot? Di ba? Daghan tay gubot ang atong hunahuna kung atong lawas nato di nato ariglohon. Ano man? Kay kaning lawas nato is only just an illusion towards our soul. That's why kung walay pakinato sa to lawas, because this is what like Hinduism, they don't have much attention to the body. What is important is the soul, or the body, or the soul or the mind or the consciousness is important. So it becomes not important to their action, no, to their surroundings. So pwede na sa ila mag-focus, pwede sa ila may pakialam yun sa ila, because that is the concept that the body is only just an illusion. Kung wala na yun, no? Siguro ining ano itong tanaw nato na usahay kita bitaw, ang importante sa ato kalag, ang importante nato sa ato pero say malimtan na nato atong lawas dun sa sobra nato kuan. Mini siguro makalimutan kita magpagupit niya ako sobrang kita nga in love, no? Sobrang kita naka in love, sobrang kita naka ano na malimtan nato ato kagalingon ato lawas. So this is what like the concept of the Hinduism.